In this video, we're going to talk about using the point-slope form of a line. There's a formula that will help us put a linear equation in a point-slope form. It's useful when we're given a point on the line and the slope of that line. For example, we're told that there's a line that goes through the point 3, 4, and it has a slope of -2. Let's take a look at the formula. This is a formula that is on the GED formula sheet, obviously not with these colors, but these colors are going to help us recognize the parts that we need to put into this formula. Namely, we're going to use the coordinates of the point on the line. X1 is going to come from this coordinate, the X value, 3. Y1 is going to come from our coordinate, the Y value, 4. And slope, which we represent with an M, is going to be -2. Let's watch how this comes together. Our slope is -2. Therefore, M will be substituted with -2. Our point, 3, 4, we want to think of that as X1, Y1. And X1 is 3, Y1 is 4. There's our formula again. Let's substitute those values in for M, X1, and Y1. And it looks like that. Y minus 4. 4 is our Y1 value. And notice that we're subtracting these. Y minus 4. And then on the other side, we have our slope 2 times in parentheses X minus 3. That was our X1 value. Now, the nice thing about problems like this is there is no need to simplify unless there's a double negative, and I'm going to cover that in our second problem example. But for this particular problem, this is the answer that we would be looking for because they want us to demonstrate that we're able to use this point-slope formula to generate an answer that's in the point-slope formula format. Let's take a look at 3 examples here. In this first one, we're told that it goes through the point, the line goes through the point 1, 5, and it has a slope of 2. And we are looking for the answer in the point-slope form. So once again, this is the form of that. Y minus Y1 equals our slope M times X minus X1. It's a good idea to label the point X1, Y1, so we keep that straight, and also to label our slope, M. Now, let's rewrite this now with the substituted values. Y minus our Y1 value is 5, equal sign, our slope is 2, and X minus our X1 value is 1. Now, once again, we don't have any double negatives or anything here, so we are done. There's no need to simplify this any further. We're looking for our answer in this list, and it's right there. Now, I would also like to point out that it's common in problems like this for you to be able to eliminate some answers based on the wrong slope, because the slope is always going to be in this position of the form. It's going to be the number that's being multiplied by the parenthesis. We can easily check to see which ones have the proper slope of 2 and eliminate the others. Notice that only C and D have a proper slope, so let's eliminate A and B. And now we have just reduced our choices down to those 2. Let's take a look at the second problem. The equation passes through the point -1, -5, and it has a slope of 3. I'm going to write this again. Oops, not Y1. Y minus Y1 equals M times X minus X1. This is X1, this is Y1, and this is our slope. And we're ready to go. Y minus -5. This is the double negative that I was warning you about. Our slope is 3. And then we have x minus, we have another negative here, so I'm going to wrap that in a parenthesis as well. This is the only simplification that you should have to do. We have a double negative here, so that becomes addition. That becomes y plus 5. On the other side, likewise, x minus a -1 becomes x plus 1. And now we are done. We can go look for our answer. And we notice that it's right here. If we were looking to eliminate answers, possible answers that have the wrong slope, you might notice that answer B has a slope of 5. So we would eliminate that. All of the other answers do have the correct slope of 3. Okay, let's take a look at one more problem. In this case, we're going to do something different, though. We are going to use the point slope form and then solve for y. The reason for doing that is that this is a quick way for us to find the slope intercept form of the line, but we're going to start out with the point slope form. Notice that these are all in the y equals mx plus b format. So we're going to start out with the point slope form, and then we're going to go from there and solve for y. Okay, let's write our formula. Y minus y1 equals our slope times x minus x1. And here are our x1 and our y1 values. They're both 2, and our slope is -1. So we write this out. Y minus 2 equals our slope. We don't need to wrap the slope in a parenthesis. It's just fine that way. And then x minus 2. Now, in this case, we are going to simplify because we want to isolate y. So the first thing I'm going to do is to multiply this -1 into the parenthesis. And I'm going to get y minus 2 equals -x plus 2. When we multiply -1, it changes the sign of both of these things. So x becomes -x, -2 becomes +2. Only one more thing to do here. We have to do the opposite of what's being done to y so that we can solve for y. The opposite is to add 2. When we do that, that's going to cancel this out. It's going to leave us with y is equal to -x plus 2 plus 2. That's going to be plus 4. And now you can see this is in y equals mx plus b form. We have y on one side, we have x and a constant on the other side, and our answer is right here at step A. If you find that this is a more helpful way for you to arrive at this solution, it's a perfectly acceptable approach to finding the slope-intercept form of a line. I hope that was helpful. Now it's time for you to practice some of these problems on your own.